What is up, you freaky folks? My name is Nick, and welcome to my channel, where I cover all things horror. Whatever you're watching, I'm making videos about. And it's night number 5 of my 13 nights of Halloween special. Feel free to check out my previous videos if you would like, but basically, I'm taking a look at 13 movies that I like to watch around Halloween to get in the holiday spirit, and hopefully they'll do the same for you. And in this video, I'm so excited to talk about a Halloween-themed movie that nobody talks about, and that of course is Hellbent, the first gay slasher. It's Los Angeles in the early 2000s when two gay men are murdered while hooking up in a park. The following night is Halloween, and a group of gay men head out on the town for a night of fun when they are stalked by the devil slasher.
This is where it happened. Less than 18 hours ago, two gay guys were murdered on this spot.
Oh, shit! Oh, damn it!
I absolutely love this movie, and I know you will judge me for being a nostalgic bitch, because yes, this did come out when I was a teenager, not only becoming a horror fan, but also discovering my sexuality. I remember kind of hiding behind being a horror fan as my excuse to watch this movie. But you know, a lot of people complained about the call for representation in movies and TV today, and I think people truly just don't get it. Call me biased, but chances are you like to watch things that actually reflect your interests and fulfill your desires as a movie lover. Well, guess what? Me too, and I don't want to watch Call Me By Your Name and Brokeback Mountain for the rest of my life. It's been 16 years since Hellbent was made, and the closest thing we've gotten to this is Midnight Kiss, a TV movie streaming on Hulu, and I'll save you from watching an old review of mine. I didn't like it. What makes Hellbent work so well for me is that it's very specifically a gay movie, yet it simply treats its characters as real people who exist within the community. It isn't over the top or too sentimental, it's a strip to the bone basic slasher film. Yet as a slasher fan, I think it does more than most try to do by fleshing out the characters who are so understandable and likable they ground the film, making all of the typical frights actually effective. Eddie is the main character, a good-natured, reserved man who works for the police department and begins a flirtation with a bad boy biker type. Chaz is the pansexual slut of the group who just wants to party and get laid. Joey is the younger and inexperienced one who just wants to meet up with a guy he has a crush on. And then there's Toby, the big personality, a hunk dressed in drag as a challenge for himself.
You get a set of legs like that, baby. Soccer.
Sure, it's just 4 white dudes, but for the lack of gay horror we have, I like that there's a solid blend of personalities so we can all kind of pick out our own character. And while this is 100% a gay horror film, I think it's accessible to anyone who could be interested. This isn't just for gay men. I think anyone who likes slashers can get into it. But I like the way sexuality is used in the movie because it's very present, but never graphic. The makeout scenes are focused on passion and intimacy. The only nudity in the film comes from our characters mooning the killer in a bitchy act that makes them targets. Yes, I could have used a bunch of nudity and a full-on sex scene, but I think the direction handles sex in a way that is satisfying while never becoming exploitative.
Every good boy's got his kink. All right, if you get in there, you get him. Come on.
Okay, no, I'm not like you, all right?
Nah, but you want to be, so go.
Also, let me pretend to make a deep argument real quick, because at first I was like, whatever, it's a slasher film. Sex scenes are like plot points in these things. But with so few movies like Hellbent, why wouldn't it celebrate its sexuality? You might think these characters are reduced to their carnal desires, but my argument is, men are hoes. Feel free to clutch your pearls if you disagree, but I actually think it's important to express that sexual nature because really, every kiss, every makeout, every sexual act is an affirmation of them being their truest selves. Even though all these guys have sex and love on the brain in one form or another, that's perfectly okay. It's allowed. It's fine. Of course, the winning combination of any slasher film is sex and death, so I have to talk about the kills and gore. The movie definitely has a low budget, so they weren't able to pull off a whole ton of practical effects, but where it makes up for that is with aesthetic value. Like in the opening scene, we have 2 dudes hooking up in a car full of balloons, which looks good, but it also creates a sequence out of a simple scene. There's also a horror show going on at a leather bar that the characters end up at, and there's tons tons of fake blood and chainsaws and shirtless dudes, and it adds to the overall production quality. Without an abundance of blood and guts to work with, the filmmakers focus on making the kills pack an emotional punch. Like the first major kill with Joey in the bathroom at the bar, he's just hooked up with the guy he has a crush on and gotten his number when the devil pops out from a stall and slices his head off with a sickle. While the gore in this scene was done digitally, this sets up the funniest part of the movie.
That is so not funny.
Also, my favorite kill is Chaz's. He's on the dance floor with lights strobing around him when the devil appears and slashes him up. There may have been a better dance floor kill done before this, but this was the first one I saw, and I think it's an excellent example of using few resources to create maximum impact. I should probably close out by talking about the killer, because I really like this guy. He is so deranged, he's twisted as hell, but I also like that he's presented as sexy. His killer costume is being shirtless while wearing a devil mask and brandishing a sickle. I know the idea of a shirtless serial killer will probably sound silly to some, but I think it especially works here because on Halloween, he can lure in his prey. He's a total daddy of a killer. God, Hellbent was so ahead of its time, you guys. But I also think there's something so carnal about the fact that he doesn't have any sort of armor, so to speak. You'd think you could injure him so easily, but he'll probably chop your head off before you get the chance. The movie never fully defines what the killer's motive is, and I like that. Sure, a homophobic killer could work, or maybe he's just an ugly buff guy who's getting revenge on the hot dudes. My personal take on it is that he is a repressed gay guy who goes out on Halloween night dressed up, kind of trying to inch towards getting out of the closet, but he can't fully get there, so he kills instead of hooks up.
What makes people kill like that?
Probably some 40-year-old gay guy that just came out of the closet. He's probably jealous of all the nice, hot guys like us walking around. Shit, I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you want to kill us? No, we're fucking fabulous.
No. It's gotta be about his mother.
Either way, it really doesn't matter. The movie actively avoids any sort of commentary, and that allows it to simply be a slasher film with gay characters. And that's the type of representation that I want to see more of. I want to see real gay people dealing with real gay problems not related to AIDS, homophobia, or tragic love. We've done enough of that. Let's move on. Hellbent might be a low-budget feature with familiar thrills, but with simple writing and convincing acting, it spins straw into gold and makes for a fast-paced, fun, and sexy thrill ride. I'm gonna give Hellbent a 4 out of 5. That might sound ridiculously high to some of you, but if you can look past the low budget, you'll find a gem of a slasher that I think we need a lot more of. As far as the Halloween vibes go, this movie is so Halloween-y. The entire backdrop of the film is this Halloween carnival. Our characters are in costume for most of the movie, which is pretty much all I need most of the time. But I also really like the killer because I think a sickle is a good weapon, the mask fits right in with a Halloween costume, and he decapitates his victims, putting their heads in plastic bags as his own sick version of trick-or-treating. If you would like to watch Hellbent, it is currently streaming right now on Here TV. If you go on Amazon Prime and you just look up the movie Hellbent, right there with the play button you can start a free trial in order to watch the movie. That's what I did. Life hacks, you guys. Do all the free trials. Thank you guys so much for watching another installment in my 13 Nights of Halloween special. I greatly appreciate it, and I'm having so much fun, so I really appreciate your support. Tomorrow we'll be taking on a babysitting gig, but don't worry, I'll make it as painless for you as possible. Until then, feel free to follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss any creepy content. That's it for this video, but I won't stop you from watching another.
What kind of lube you guys got? Mine's got pineapple.
Pineapple. This is all crap. You guys get CDs? Glow sticks?